we'll know what this particular part of space smells and tastes like.
And if we can come back home and we say, we can recommend that part of space because it tastes better.
Mm-hmm. If we do many taste tests.
Do we have enough toast?
May need to use rice cakes. Hello. This is the 266th test from the future, an experimental podcast from the year 2226, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Simon.
And my name is Dirk.
And we're putting the past in podcast.
Thanks for taking care of this.
No problem.
266th.
Well, you were having difficulty. 266th.
Yeah, we recorded the intro like 5 times and then you took over.
Yep.
Yeah, so nice to change things up a bit. Just for our regular listeners, we're still lost in space.
Still lost in space, 7 weeks now.
7 weeks, yes. Lost in space. We have no idea where we are. We have no idea where we're going, but we're still in good spirits. And sometimes we have some new discoveries to mention. Sometimes we have just some new things that we experienced on the ship. And sometimes we have pretty exciting,
like super momentous stuff. I don't know. I guess actually this, so to spoil it a little bit, this being the most momentous one so far, I'd say.
Yes.
Okay, maybe being lost in space, but after being lost in space, this is. I think this is even more momentous.
Yeah. I also think because at one point we'll be back, but
right.
Whatever we will be talking about today, boy,
it has long-term ramifications.
But before we get to
before that, yeah, or, even more. Well, less important, but still important.
Yes, I wanted to give an update on the passenger band. Some listeners emailed about this.
Right, which will be playing, at the 50th birthday of the captain in a few weeks. So it's important stuff. So
yeah.
And by what's your update?
I started learning the woodblock.
How's it going?
Okay.
Yeah.
Guinevere, so she's the one that helped me. That convinced me to join the passenger band, and she had a few, 5 I think woodblocks with her, and she said, "Hey, we're going to be on the ship for a while. How about you join? Learn a woodblock," and I did.
Cool. And I see you've got it there with you.
Yes.
So our listeners, are they going to get to hear some?
Yes. Okay.
Nice.
So I practice this. I hope this works better than me pronouncing the number of the episode. Okay. So you need to hold. See it. You need specific techniques. So you need to hold this in your one hand.
Yep.
And then see this other thing. You need to smash it on this thing. So
I see.
But gently. So let me do this.
Yeah. Right. Okay, yeah. So it's very gentle, but I could hear it.
Yeah. It's like the thing is quite big, but it has a really modest sound.
Yeah.
So this is basically what I'm learning now, and I still need to practice a little bit the songs that they've been practicing with the whole band. But the idea is that I also will join with the woodblock on the captain's birthday party.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's about it. Yes.
So I'm finding it a bit funny just because I am actually interested. I'm involved also in organising the party, but then also the thing we're going to talk about kind of overshadows that.
I also was like, okay, well, it's because we already said, next episode we should be talking about, the woodblock training and so on. But then this came up, and then it was like, okay. Look,
anyways,
we got it out of the way. What's the big news?
So we have all the people on this ship, we've discovered brand new aliens.
Brand new
aliens that no one's ever heard of before.
Actual sentient beings.
Ones we can talk with, have conversations with.
And this basically means this is the 5th race. The 5th alien race that we know. I mean, we are one. Us.
Yep, humans.
The Illuminati and the Martians. So they're the ones that visited us, that share their techniques with us, that can also do space travel. Then there's the police that are not technologically advanced, so we leave them alone. And now we have what do we call the Materialistics.
The Materialistics, and they're going along with it like they're saying, cool, you call us that, which we can get into in a bit, but yeah.
So that's super exciting. Especially super exciting because the Partians and Illuminati that we just mentioned, they've been doing fast space travel through space. And when we were having all kinds of, how do you call it, anticipation of having fast space travel ourselves, we were saying, we get to find out new aliens, and they were saying,
there aren't any out there.
There aren't any.
Right, they've already looked.
This is it.
But then we got lost. Maybe that was the trick, you know? Maybe if we hadn't got lost, we wouldn't have found them. I mean, almost certainly, so we wouldn't have by definition, like we wouldn't have been here, so.
I mean, maybe eventually.
Sure.
Knowing.
Not on this 2-week trip, though. Well,
exactly.
Yeah.
But so this is really exciting. And then this was 2 days ago now that we found them.
It's gone pretty quickly.
Yes.
Meaning meeting, but then talking with, and then learning so much.
I think before we get to the materialistics themselves, the planet itself also maybe gets mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like, definitely another unusual one. So not like anything we've seen before. So completely flat and featureless on its surface.
Yeah.
So, it's a regular sphere floating in space, like most planets are. But just completely featureless, smooth surface.
It's a thing, like, if you look at most planets from afar, they seem all like that.
Yeah.
If you look at Uranus, it seems like a big blue marble.
Yeah.
But if you get closer, at one point, features start to appear,
like
mountains and valleys. And
exactly. You can make out landscape.
Yeah, exactly. But this planet, even so, there's a bit of an atmosphere, so there's no meteorites or whatever crashing into it, and it has maintained its smooth surface.
Yeah,
and it's even
it's a nice shade of turquoise.
Yeah, and it's even the more interesting that there's then still creatures living on this.
Yes, right.
There's nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, nowhere to live. Maybe also explains why they are relatively short-lived.
Right, because their lifespan is, 2 hours or so?
Something like that.
Long-lived ones, 3 hours, but usually the order of 2 hours.
I mean, they have a hive mind, so you can still, continue the conversation, basically. But the individual creatures, 2 hours, something like that. I think we calculated.
Yeah, and so the materialistics themselves, when we first arrived, it was pretty unusual because it was like none of them looked alike.
Yeah.
Each one looked so different from each other, and also unlike anything we'd seen before.
Yeah.
But then, within a few hours, they all of a sudden, then they all started looking like things we were very familiar with.
Yes.
Which was very unusual. Lampposts, chairs, forklift trucks,
hoverboards.
Yep.
That was really the weird thing. Like we got there first, you immediately notice there's creatures here.
Yeah, there's clearly stuff going on.
But it's not like they looked all slightly similar. They all looked very different. Big sizes, small sizes, all kinds of different shapes. Nothing we've seen before. But within minutes, there was like a fork walking among them.
Yeah,
it's like these are all crazy shapes, and now there's a fork. And I think, like you're saying, within a few hours, it was all
everything, things that we were familiar with.
It's the unknown items that we had seen initially. They still occasionally appear. They don't seem to be lost completely.
Not completely, no. But so we're kind of hinting around things. We can say to our listeners what's going on. Yeah. So the materialistics, they're short-lived, and when they come when they're born, they basically take on a form.
Yeah.
And they take on the form of things that are around them, but not so physically, sure, but also what they pick up from our thoughts. And so that's the thing, we got here, humans got here, started, picking up what's going on in our heads, and then started forming themselves to look like that.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it's not anything you can think of. It's anything you create.
So that people have created, like machines, furniture, objects of art.
Exactly, but not like if I think about a pigeon, they don't look like a pigeon, and you can't influence it anyways. There's nothing.
Right, it's not conscious on our part. It's not like a conscious decision.
It's if I'm thinking about a bucket really strong, that suddenly buckets appear around me. It doesn't work like that. I have no idea what it's really based on, but it's based, and it's also based on our mutual thoughts, right? So
like a collective. Like, so this is the thing that's going. So, like you mentioned, they're a hive mind. So effectively, they are one being.
Yeah.
And initially, they thought we were that way too. So they thought, okay, clearly, these humans they didn't know we were humans. These folk who've arrived are one mind, and then these different people walking around. I guess they're like us. They're different interpretations of things that someone's made once.
Yeah.
Then they understood that wasn't the case, and it got a bit confused. It was a bit confusing at the start.
And it's also because at one point something looked like, I'm just describing it now as, let's say, a short ladder, but instead of the spokes being just straight lines, they were like curvy, which meant that the holes in the ladder were round. So I'm just describing it because I don't actually know what it was, and I thought this is some of the stuff that they had already known before we arrived. But this was was explained later by Alice. This is a part that is used to build rudimentary space vehicles. Okay.
So it was something. Just sure, you weren't familiar with it
exactly,
but
this was a thing. This came from us.
Right, and okay. This was, all of this was very strange and interesting. And then at some point we're like, okay, cool. Why? What's going on here? They explained to us it's how they learn it's how they learn. So they manifest themselves to look like, as you say, things that people have made so that they can learn, okay, so these new folk have arrived. What do they make? And why do they make it? And what's it for?
They're very interested.
Exactly. Like, what do we value,
They're constantly asking questions. And it didn't took the Orjones too long to decipher their language, right? So, interesting enough, because they are relatively short-lived, they start blinking when they're at the end, right?
Not like blinking eyes, you mean, but like blinking in and out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they don't hurry up. Like, it's like, quickly finish this conversation or whatever, because they're hive mind, like whatever.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting having a conversation, just having a conversation. We do most of the talking, they do most of the asking.
Yeah, and listening,
And then they start blinking at you, you go like, oh man, we were just having such a good conversation.
Especially at first, you got a little bit attached maybe to this stepladder over here. Okay, by now, after a couple of days, you understand, you don't get so attached to the physical forms anymore. Yeah. And because you are able to continue the same conversation, it's like there's a little interruption, but okay, you can keep going.
And then, of course, they're mostly interested in the shape that they are themselves.
Yeah, that's what they're asking about.
If they're like a paint bucket, they go like, what's this thing in me? What's this color? And
exactly. And that's a good example. Like if it's a bucket of paint with a paintbrush, won't just be, so ask questions, sure, initially, but then also they'll ask us to paint something, like to actually use that's what I mean about them learning. Like, what do we do? What do we value?
Or sit on them. Yeah, I've sat on them once.
Of course. That felt a bit strange to start with. You're asking me to sit on you? Yeah, okay, but it's a chair.
Exactly. Like, as soon as they figure out what they're for, it's like, then show me.
Yeah.
It's still cute because they still walk. So they're not completely a chair. They're in a chair with feet, so they still kind of scuttle along.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of cute. The thing is, of course, they're doing most of the questions, but of course, through observing and conversating and so on, and also talking with ourselves, we've already concluded quite a few things. I kind of like the atmosphere somehow. It feels, relax is maybe not the right word, but it feels...
There's so much curiosity going on. Yeah. It's just, and like you say, so cute, not just short cute in how the little feet look on the chair, for example, but also the attitude, They're not children, of course, but because they're asking so many questions, it kind of feels like talking with young children, where they're so curious and want to know all the things.
And also, they are not scared of us,
right?
But they're not like overly approaching us.
No.
Like they're not on top of us all the time.
Sure.
They kind of scurry around.
They've got their own stuff that they're taking care of.
Exactly. So that's kind of the thing, because they've been there for, I don't know, centuries, decades.
That's been one thing that's been hard to work out, because we don't really have a shared concept of time. So
but they've been going about their business forever, and now suddenly we arrive. They're like, oh, what's this interesting thing? And then they strike up a conversation. But also a lot of them, they just scurry off or do other stuff. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I can recommend it. Somehow
Oh,
when
yeah.
I come back from the surface, I feel quite relaxed. Maybe it is relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so name of the race, we settled for the Materialistics.
Yeah.
Name of the planet is still TBD, right?
Yeah. Exactly. They haven't told us what they call it, if they even call it anything. It's things like that, like names. They, again, it's something they understand that we use sounds or words, to describe things, but it's not something they do themselves. So it's a bit tricky.
But we'll. I think with the Illuminati and the Partian planets, we end up naming them the Illuminati planet and the Partian planet. So maybe
at least unless something more creative comes up, this could simply be the materialistic planet.
Especially if, because themselves, they usually call it home.
Yeah.
So, anyway, except us, apparently. We just call our planet Earth. Just name it after the stuff that's in it.
Yeah, or on the surface of it anyway.
Right. All right. There's a listener email.
Yeah, right.
So, because you did the intro, shall I do the listener email?
Let's do it that way.
So it's from Inka. And Inka wrote, "Hey guys, if you're still in space when you read this, can you tell me what it smells like or tastes like? Thanks." Oh.
So we haven't, at least I haven't done either of those things yet, have you?
Taste, definitely not.
No. At first, I was going to answer, surely Inka means, what does it smell like to be on a spaceship? But then I realized, no, that's just going to be like farts and regular human smells. So I had the idea, what we could do is, at some point we can go out into space, or ask someone from the crew to do it for us maybe, and they can bring us back some space dust, something that's floating out there. And out there, we wouldn't be able to smell it because there's no air. But if they bring it back aboard ship,
good point,
then we can, get it in like a sealed container or something, and then to find out, quickly take off the lid, breathe in, see what it smells like. And likewise for taste, maybe we, depending what it is, maybe put some on toast, see what it tastes like.
See, these are all good ideas. And we occasionally can go on space walks, right? So
we're not meant to. Yeah, we're not meant to nick things, take things from where maybe we can make an exception.
Maybe space. There's so much space. We can take a bit of space. But because I was thinking, I've been on planets, and we've been on some planets where there's a bit of atmosphere. So we've occasionally been able to take off our helmet, but then it's an atmosphere, so it's not space.
That's how does that planet smell? Or exactly.
And if we're actually in space, we can't really take off our helmet.
No.
So we can't.
Not exactly. Not while we're out there. So that's what I was saying. To get a bit of something that's in space, bring it back inside, give it a sniff.
And the thing is, you can probably briefly take off your helmet and put it quickly back on. But then you're supposed to hold your breath.
Sure. Yeah. You don't want to be breathing in while.
And then go quickly take off your helmet.
That's a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I like your idea best.
It seems safer.
We just catch it in something, then we go inside, open it and smell.
Yeah.
And tasting is then
an extension of that. Yeah. So if there's not enough there, we'll only be able to smell it. But if we happen to scoop up something a bit more substantial, maybe toast isn't a good idea because that'll have enough of its own flavor. But you know what I mean.
But the thing is, we know what toast tastes like.
Exactly. So
how about this? We just
space on toast.
We just take toast into space, wriggle it around a little bit, wave it, shake it, and then go back inside and bite it.
Yeah. Could work.
We just have to watch out not to get too close to the sun because we're going to burn our toast.
Sure.
Yeah. And then if we taste the difference, we know this is what.
What space tastes, or at least this part. Hey, space is big. We'll know what this particular part of space smells and tastes like.
And then we can come back home and we say, we can recommend that part of space because it tastes better.
If we do many taste tests.
Do we have enough toast?
May need to use rice cakes.
Yeah, okay, sure. All right, this is a good idea. Yeah, we have to figure out a way how to then describe it to Inka.
We'll find out, if we taste it and it tastes just like chicken, easy enough. If it tastes like something we've never tasted before, we'll have to come up with something new.
Yeah, okay. Then we can say it tastes like bujami.
We could do. Don't know how useful that would be to Inka,
but at least she will know. At least because she can't actually taste it, but at least she will know what the taste sounds like.
Right.
Okay, okay. Cool. Inga, we will do our best to let you know what space taste sounds like.
Yeah. And it smells too.
Exactly. All right, cool. This was a very interesting side journey for our senses. How did Inka write to us?
Inka wrote to us by sending an email to michaellasenia5@gmail.com, and we would like people listening to us now to do the same, and for them to include the number 266 in the subject so that we know this specific episode of our podcast went back in time successfully.
For now, thanks for listening, and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.